Hey everybody, and welcome to a video on creating subjects and dividers in Notability. So let's go ahead and open up Notability on our iPads. And you'll see when it starts up, there's a whole lot of stuff going on, a whole lot of material from my last year teaching. But I want to concentrate first before we create any files, before we do any drawing or typing or inserting pictures. I want to start by organizing our Notability so that we can find files later and store them away appropriately. So on the left-hand side of the screen, you'll see some what are called dividers from some classes that I taught last year. And if you press on the little triangle on the left of these dividers, you can open it up and see what are called subjects. Even though it's called a subject, it's really just a subfolder. And there aren't any more subdivisions in Notability. We just have dividers and subjects, but we can make do with that. So you can click on any one of these little triangles and see what's in each of those dividers. But let's create some new ones now so that we know how to. So on the top of the screen, we've got this little plus button. And so let's start by creating a divider. And a divider is kind of the biggest quote-unquote folder or carrier that you can have in Notability. So I would give this a big name. I just named this my class. So for instance, math class. All right. And within that class, I'm going to want to have some folders, which are called subjects in Notability. Now, especially if you're going to use Notability a lot and have a whole lot of files, here is where I think it makes sense to make a whole lot of these subjects. So for instance, instead of calling this maybe homework, if you're going to have a whole lot of homework throughout the year, it might be better to be more specific and call it something like Chapter 1 homework. And then have another subject called Chapter 2 homework and Chapter 3 homework, etc. You might also want to have something for Chapter 1 notes and Chapter 2 notes. Awesome. Couple of things to note. Right now, all four of these subjects look pretty similar, so I want to show you how to customize them. In the top left of the screen, you see this edit button. And when you click that edit button, you see these little cogs, these setting cogs, next to either the dividers or the subjects. So I'm going to look at Chapter 1 homework and press this cog, and you have the option to rename what it's called. You have the option to change the color of that subject. So I'm going to go ahead and change this to maroon, and I'm going to change its icon to a dog. If you would like, you may set a password for that folder. You do not have to at all, and I rarely ever do. But if you want to, I'm going to call the password password. And I'll write here confirm password. Password, I think I typed that correctly. And then close. And so in the future, if I ever wanted to get into Chapter 1 homework, it would say, please type the password, which is password, and then it'll let me in. So we can customize any one of these. Now I'm on Chapter 2 homework. Maybe I'll make this one green. I'll make the icon a lightning bolt, and we're done. Chapter 1 notes. I will maybe make this also maroon, so it lines up with Chapter 1 homework, but I'll make the icon a right triangle, or what have you. Great. So now we've created a divider, math, and inside of math, all of these subjects, or I like to call them folders. So I'm going to click done in the upper left-hand corner. And now if we want, we can close math and open math by pressing that little triangle on the left-hand side of the divider. A couple of things to keep in mind. If you'd like, you can rearrange the order of the things within math. I'm going to click edit again. And all the way on the right for each of these dividers and subjects are these little 3 bars. And if you press there and hold, you can drag one of these subjects around and change the order of them. So maybe I want to do something along these lines. I've got Chapter 1 notes, Chapter 1 homework, Chapter 2 notes, Chapter 2 homework. Now I'm going to click done. Another thing I might want to do is rearrange the dividers. So I'm going to click edit again. I'm going to click on those 3 little bars on the right for math, and I'm going to move math all the way to the top because, of course, math is the most important subject. And so before we go ahead and make any files and do anything else, I really suggest laying the groundwork and organizing your Notability as well as you can so that it's easier to use throughout the year. One other great feature that's good to know about is the search feature to find a Notability file, especially if you don't know where it is, in which folder you put it. So when that's the case for me, I usually select all notes, which is in the upper left-hand corner. And of course, this is going to have every single Notability note that I have ever made. And there are 3 ways to organize them. One is, of course, by name in alphabetical order. So if you remember what you named it, then this is a great way to go ahead and find it. You can, of course, scroll down or up to search for your file. Another great way to organize these is by the modified date. If you forget what you named your file or if you forget what folder it's in, the modified date, if we select that, shows you the list of Notability files organized by which ones you have edited the most recently. So if you know you worked on it yesterday, but you don't know where it is, this is a great way to find it. Similar to the modified date is the created date, and that will list these, very similar, by which ones were created the most recently. Of course, another option, if you see this magnifying glass in the upper right, you may click on that and type the name of the file. So if you know the name, but you don't really feel like scrolling all the way, maybe I'll write final exam. Aha, there's the final exam review guide. And so just another great way to find your files after you have organized them.